We got Come All Ye Unfaithful, also pretty good, pretty melodic.
The
Got a cool
worst
group.
title.
I know. I'm not. This is the
Come
one-
all ye unfaithful.
I kind of like had a moment where I was like, did they just take a Christmas song and change it lyrics to unfaithful? All right, we are
Hey.
back after a little 2-month hiatus.
Wow, it's been 2 months. Crazy.
It's been a while. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little copyright issue with our last video. It didn't work out. We couldn't upload it, so we got tied up in other stuff. But
had a nervous breakdown, and we I don't know.
We had a nervous breakdown. We needed a hiatus. But we're back for the boys review. You guys can give us a like and subscribe. We're gonna try to get some more content going moving forward. And today we're doing a new release. Just came out last week.
Yeah,
everyone's familiar.
Friday.
Last Friday actually. Came out of nowhere, but there was a single that was released beforehand. It's Dream Widow. So
yeah, I also believe this is with like in conjunction to was it Studio 666 film?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think it's a soundtrack, but I think it's like, I don't know. There's a band in the movie with that. I don't know.
I think so. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I don't think I got the best reviews either. I think I thought of reviewing.
No, it was in theaters for like a week. I want to see it though. I'm curious.
I think we should see it. I think we should see it and review it. That should be our maybe our next project or something. Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about the movie, but this album is actually, it surprised me, you know? Like I didn't know what to expect because March of the Insane came out about a month ago, I think. And at first I was
like, that did nothing for me when I heard it. I was like, okay.
Me neither. Because the thing is, you have to hear it in the album. The album kind of
it does work a lot better.
For sure. When you hear March of the Insane, there's no context, and it's just it sounds like at first you think, oh, it's just very like watered down thrash. Because for those of you who don't know, this is actually Dave Grohl. Like, what is it? It's him performing every instrument.
Yeah, it's just him completely.
It's basically it's like a thrash project, and it's not the first time he's done a metal. He did Probot years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one, but supposedly that was good.
You know, I never heard that. I don't know why. I've known about it for years, but
I know. Well, I only knew one review, which was like Kerry King from Slayer said it was like a bit generic, but it was okay.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard it, but basing it on this album.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like Probot would have been a good primer for this, but I don't think you really need to hear Probot. All you gotta know is that Dave Grohl's always like kind of dipped his toes into metal, and he's now doing this thing. Like last year, he did his Bee Gees cover band.
Yeah, I think of this as like Dave Grohl's like midlife nostalgia tour. Like he's just taking on genres from his like youth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, oh, I like disco. I liked, you know, he
bit of hardcore
liked
punk.
Metal.
That's it. Well, he was in. I think he like by trade, well, by origin, he was like hardcore punk. He was in the band Scream or Killing Joke.
Yeah.
He was Scream, and so he's got the chops. Like he knows what he's doing. And I guess we could get in the tracks. Cause it's not a long album, but like Encino, the opener is pretty crazy. Like it just comes at you right out the gate.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I think it's the most hardcore I've ever heard Dave Grohl.
I think so too.
Like I don't know what he's saying, but it's so
We were saying before that White Limo from Wasting Light was also kind of a primer or like a successor to this.
I find it's kind of like Motorheady, but it's close to this, I guess. It's like the same screaming, I don't know what he's saying kind of thing.
That's it. It's the screaming, and he can scream. I think this album's cool because it's like he gets to finally showcase how much of a screamer he is.
Yeah, we hear it in Foo Fighters like sometimes, but he uses it like very sparingly and tastefully. So here it's kind of like, let's just go crazy.
Yeah, he just goes crazy.
Write melodies. Let's just yell. It's great.
Encino's pretty frantic, and there's like a chugging part halfway through, I think. And overall, it's pretty solid. It's a short track though. It's like 1 minute and 38 seconds. It doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
just
little
kind
bit
of in the shadow.
hardcore. A little hardcore too.
Yeah, for sure,
That's what
for
I like
sure.
about
I
this
can
album.
hear
Is
it.
there's a lot of like different, a lot of different influences on here.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and it kind of blends well. Like it's not too glaring or jarring, I should say.
it's like thrash, progressive, sludge. I hear a lot of heard a lot of Mastodon in it, but also I think he's leaning into some of his experience with the Queens of the Stone Age, because I think Queens of
Yeah.
the Stone Age was a little bit metal, but I think it's definitely thrash, but
Yeah.
he combines a lot, which is what I really like a lot of Venom, early 80s thrash. Cold is the next one, and Cold is one that really grew on me too. I love
Yeah,
the
I didn't like it
chugging.
at first. I was like,
Well, that was it when you
nice.
listen to it. I was like, when you told me it wasn't that great, and then I heard it, I was like, wait a second, dude, I think this might be like one of my favorites from the
That's
album.
pretty good. That's a cool little riff. I really don't know what he's talking about, but I don't know. Sounds that's gonna be my comment for every song here. I don't know what he's talking about.
No, I don't know either. It's well, the vocals are fairly clean though compared to the other ones,
Yeah.
and actually, it's got the most plays on like Spotify of all of them.
Oh wow.
I think it's got a great
I
riff.
think because it has like there's just a tad of Foo Fighters in there. Just like a
Right.
little bit. It's like a little taste.
I think it's the down, 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 down,
Yeah.
down. There's that's it. It's like Foo Fighters going metal, and it's got a great chugging. It's got that Sabbath kind of chug to it, which is what I like. I like thrash metal bands that can slow it down, and Cold is like their slower track.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of chugging in it. It's good. Probably my favorite. Um, Next one is March of the Insane. So it's the one we were mentioning before. It's
I
it's
like
pretty
it. I
good.
don't
I
know.
like it.
I
I like
did
it.
not like it at all the first time, but I really like it. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of goofy, but
It
it
is, yeah.
grows on you.
I think it's the
There's like
double
this
stops
weird
where it's
like
like down, down, down,
yeah,
down.
I was gonna say it's like it's like a bit goofy, but
That's the goofy Foo Fighters aspect of it. Like down, down, down,
yeah,
down. I
there's
find
a
that kind
few.
of like
Yeah,
there's a point where they kind of overdo it a little bit though. It's like a little too much. It's like down,
yeah,
down. It's like a parody of itself almost.
yeah,
But I like it because to me I think it's one of the probably the most thrash of it's kind of like big four thrash, like Metallica,
yeah.
Slayer, Anthrax,
That's fair. It
Megadeth.
probably is the most pure thrash on the
Just
whole
it's
album.
just pure frantic, crazy strumming. Great main riff, actually, really cool.
Yeah.
I like March the Insane, and again, that one I don't understand. I don't really know what they're saying either, to be honest.
I know. Like sometimes in Foo Fighters, I don't think I understand a lot of what Dave Grohl is saying.
I think it's just a very not abstract. It's like he leaves it a lot of things. Lyrics are just like open to interpretation. There isn't really a
Yeah.
clear message. I think the only song that like there's a few songs that definitely have messages. Best
Yeah,
of
there's
You.
one there's Becoming, which we'll get to eventually, that has
Mhm.
some lyrics that are not great, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Next one's the Sweet Abyss, and the Sweet Abyss is cool because it's got
Eat
this
Abyss, yeah, great.
nice hook for the chorus.
Yeah.
It's like falling into the Sweet Abyss. It's pretty good.
I find it as a grungy, it's kind of grungy at times.
kind of more grungy, sludgy. Was
Yeah.
like kind of it just shows Dave kind of tapping into his grungier roots, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Can't say
I know
some of the
this one
songs
doesn't stand out to me too much, to be honest. But I think I need like many more listens on this. But yeah,
I'm trying to think. Is it the one? I think is it Angel with Severed Wings or Sweet Abyss that has this nice galloping riff that is kind of reminiscent of Thin Lizzy?
I think so. Yeah.
One of the I think Angel with the Severed Wings has this really cool galloping riff that's kind of
Yeah.
reminiscent of Thin Lizzy, and it has like the harmonies behind it,
Mm.
which is pretty quintessential thrash. Which is where I really admire Dave Grohl's technique here because like the harmonies, like the guitar harmonies are pretty important for thrash, and he gets that down on the end of the Sweet Abyss pretty good. I think for me, the Sweet Abyss and Angel with Severed Wings kind of go well together as like 1 to 2 because they're both kind of more melodic, and the chorus kind of takes a bit from maybe okay. Tell me if I'm reading this too much. I hear a bit of like maybe the Pixies or like kind of more like Sonic
Oh
Youth.
wow, no, I didn't hear that, but you might be right.
I think just more in the vocal delivery and like
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's a little more. Yeah, it's a little more higher pitched.
that's it. Like I think of more of the higher register there, just more like early '90s alternative stuff. But yeah, those two are really 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 good, and there's a really cool double bass part of the Sweet Abyss as well, which double bass is a tricky metal technique
Really,
to pull off.
I didn't pick that up. I don't know why. To be fair, I was like only paying attention to the drums today. I was like, oh, I should listen to the drums since Dave Grohl's playing the drums.
It's yeah, they each kind of it's tricky. I know. I feel the same way. I'm like when I'm listening to it, it's because it's one musician doing all of the work, and I'm like, it's hard to pick up on. It's weird. It's really odd.
Yeah, it's true because it's all like his individualized style, so it's not like separate personalities.
That's it. I think everything kind of blends into one in a way.
Yeah,
Whereas with the Foo Fighters, it's like, hey, you got Taylor Hawkins' drumming, and you got like Dave's vocals, and like Nate Mendel on bass, and they all kind of
yeah,
like work together, but it's just Dave. So,
yeah.
and there's
That's
Kamal
what I kind of like
Young.
about the album too. Like, there's a little bit of it's still, even though it's very much more metal, there's like a bit of a throwback to like the
Yeah,
first two Foo Fighter albums. So like it doesn't sound like them, but like the style, like the instrumentation is similar to those two albums because it was mostly
for
Dave
sure.
Grohl in both those
Well,
albums.
I heard like I hear a lot of his first album, which as time goes on, I'm starting to realize how different their inaugural album is to the rest of their discography.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
sound
sounds
like,
yeah,
I can't really think of any song on there. Maybe This Is a Call is the closest to their other stuff, but yeah, you're right. Like Big Me is way popular than anything they ever do.
yeah, I know,
But
I
then
know.
like Alone and Easy Target is way more like alternative rock. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's kind of deserves a revisit. It's weird. I haven't listened to it in years and years and years, but it's
I
still
love
really
that.
good.
That
I love that
album's
album.
great.
So
So
good.
good.
Then we got Come All You Unfaithful, also pretty good, pretty melodic.
The
Got a cool
worst
group.
title.
I know. I'm not.
Come all ye unfaithful.
I kind of like had a moment where I was like, did they just take a Christmas song and change it lyrics to unfaithful?
Oh no.
That's what's funny about it. It's good. It's another really solid track. Can't say I don't know. I haven't ranked them yet, but uh, pretty good. And there's Becoming in Lacrimas de Ebrius is like, which I don't even know if that's pronounced properly, but they're they're tricky because they're long,
Yeah.
and there's just whole stretches of the song where not much is going
Yeah,
on.
Becoming, yeah, it's like 3 minutes or something of the song before it starts. It's like super sludgy.
It's super sludgy.
Doom metal, black metal. Like,
It's just very occult. It's very occult themes.
but I
to
find,
it.
honestly, I find the lyrics a little bit laughable.
Me too.
Like, they kind of sound like a parody. There's like, there's the part that repeats. It's like, feel your wrath pulsing through life and death, becoming you. Like, I feel like that's not supposed to be goofy, but it really sounds goofy.
I think I cringed a little bit too when I heard lyrics for Becoming.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, the other songs are like, I don't know what he's singing, so it's fine.
Mhm.
But I don't think, as much as Dave Grohl does really well on a lot of aspects of this album, I think lyrically he's just not. That's not his style.
This is really goofy. I know.
No,
He's
lyrically
more
he's
like
not. He's more like the his lyrics are always more romantic and
Yeah.
sometimes anthemic or sometimes goofy, but not like death and
Not
decay.
death and like the
It's not
occult.
him, man.
I know.
If we started doing like Hail Satan stuff, I'd be like, okay, but that's a joke, right? Like that's not.
It's a bit funny. It's like him taking like a lot of the gimmicks from metal and
Yeah, I do kind of like that about the album too, though. It's kind of like
too.
he knows that a lot of metal is funny,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
not in a bad way. Like it's supposed to be ridiculous.
For
It's to
sure.
the extreme, right? But like so many other bands get that wrong. They're always like, have to be as serious as possible.
We have to gross as many people out as possible and
Yeah, it to be as
be offensive.
serious and like I think you missed the joke,
I know
but
it sounds like he's
Dave
into
did
the
not,
joke.
so I appreciate that.
I agree. I agree, and that's why I like about Lacrimas de Ebrius too. It's like it kind of reminds me of these like long metal songs that just don't know when to end because it's 10 minutes long, and it's just that's
Oh,
where it gets a
that
little more
song.
progressive.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that's the weakest song for me. Like
yeah,
there's some really good riffs on there. Like the first riff is pretty good. Even
yeah. It
the
is.
chugging part you
The
like.
chugging part at the end is really cool with those
Even
little notes and
yeah,
stuff at the end. I like that. I
there's
like that
even
one.
like a folky classical like opeth part at one
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's super cool, but none of it connects. It just does not connect. It really just sounds like he recorded a bunch of ideas and just put them together, and then like some of it
Yeah.
works, but then some of it doesn't even work together, and then he just like put it out there.
It's like they just in like separate songs kind of molded together and like even I
It
think
doesn't really
even
say anything.
no,
And
I know it's kind of the one that loses me towards the end, but
yeah, and there's lots of metal like that. Like, I'm not you know metal more than I do, but
mhm.
like Dope Smoker, like
Right,
that
right,
album's
for
just
sure.
so long and it's just instrumentation mostly.
Hmm.
There's like
Hmm.
but and that keeps your attention, but for whatever reason this one doesn't. I don't know.
No, I know it's just kind of
Tried.
long and kind of loses
It's
you
cool
halfway.
sometimes when you listening to you're like, okay, this is cool. Like I like this, but it doesn't have a lot of substance. Just doesn't it's not a song.
No, no, I know it's not one of my more favorite ones in the album, but yeah. What do we give this? What's your rating?
It's crazy. It has grown. When I first heard it, I was like 5, but now I'm like a 7. Like
I
solid.
think
I
so
think it's a
too.
solid. It's like a solid. It's solid. It grows on you a lot. And it's fun. And like if you open up to it, it works. Like
I agree. I give it a 7 as well. Like I was expecting it first. I was like, man, the whole album just sounds like a like Dream Widow, and it's just kind of like I don't know, like thrash. It's trying too hard to be thrash, but it's not.
yeah,
I
like
don't know.
I'm
I'm gonna like it,
super
but
surprised. Like I thought it was just gonna be one of those like things that Dave Grohl's doing now. Like where like I admire the guy. Like I think because like I don't know, the Foo Fighters were like at their prime. Their main criticism was that they just always sound the same.
Mhm.
So I think maybe he took that and was like, okay, I'm going to show them I can do it. But I not all of it's worked. But I like this. This is like pretty good. Like
Yeah, I
say
know.
I like this. Might be one of the best things Dave Grohl's done in a while, to be honest.
I might find
Like
it
even
slightly
pre
more.
Sonic Highways. Like I think you like it more than that.
I might even find this one more interesting than their last album they
Oh
put out.
yeah, absolutely.
Like their last album, just which we reviewed on this channel, just didn't really do it for me, except for maybe two songs. This one says it's exciting to see. I guess it's just for me, it's like part of the fun is kind of like poking fun at some of what he does, but I want to see what he does next. I want to see him put out like a children's album. I want to see him do
Oh,
like an
it'll happen.
AC/DC cover
It'll
album.
happen.
Like that's a boy's prediction right there. He's gonna do an AC/DC cover album. He's gonna do it. He's gonna be in a hair metal band at some point. Like, you know,
Yeah. We
I
make fun, but Dave Grohl's great.
exactly. It's fun. He's like everyone's favorite rock and roll dad, right? So
Yeah.
he's got something up his sleeve. My favorite tracks, I give it a 7 on 10 too. I think the ones I recommend the most are Cold, March of the Insane, The Sweet Abyss, and Angel with Severed Wings. I
I
mean,
thought
I
you were
could
just
throw.
gonna say all of it.
That's it. I was like, just come all you unfaithful, becoming, it's just the whole thing. No, 'cause I think like Encino is good, but it's just kind of an intro. It's super short, and
I like Encino though. I
I
actually
think
really like it.
first that's it. Songs 1 to 5, pretty good. Encino, Cold,
Yeah,
March
it
of the
starts out
Insane.
really good,
Hmm.
and then yeah, it's weird. The last three are just like I think musically more interesting. They just there's something like a little off or not finished about them. I don't know what it is,
Yeah, I know
but
it's odd.
like I appreciate them, but I don't. Yeah, I don't like them as much.
No, I know. I like.
But it's
I
not bad.
just I like
None of it is
Cold.
bad.
I think Cold is the one that really does it for me. And March of the Insane is just cool. Like it's just because I love those 80s thrash riffs, and I hear a lot of that in March of the Insane. Just these
Yeah.
frantic, crazy riffs. Um I I love it. So yeah, those are our top six. If you guys have any comments to add, you want to comment down below and let us know if you want us to cover review any other albums, and see you guys soon.
Bye.